What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, dropping some mental jewels on you. Check it out, guys. I really have waited, patiently waited for a track to explode on about the NPC Global, the NSpire Physique Championships launched by Lee Thompson after Kai announced he's not going to compete in the Olympia on Olympia week. Now, I just want to preface this that I have been extremely one of the most critical people of the NPC, saying that they have some promoters who should not be promoting, saying that they have a bad track record. And also, I myself have defected and compete as a NABA pro in my first show coming up November 7th as a pro. With that said, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it objective, and I'm going to go over what I know. And I'm also going to publicly state who TigerFitness.com will be supporting when it comes to the NPC versus the NPC. First of all, do you even trademark? NPC, I realize it's an acronym, but I'm sure the first line of action will be suing the NPC for calling yourself the NPC when there's already an NPC, and referring to yourself as NPC Global when there's already an NPC in the same arena. Did anybody have an attorney involved in this? That's too close. That will inevitably lead to an immediate court case, I believe, unless there's some trademark law. I mean, even if they don't have the mark, they have been using it for commerce. They put on shows. That's number one. Number one is, do you even lawyer, bro? I remember the night it happened. It was the Wednesday night before I was leaving for the Olympia. I was packing, walking around. It was about 9:30. I got a call on Facebook from Louis Marco. Louis and I talked for a good half hour about it. And I remember we both were like, oh my God, we just got completely bamboozled. This is all planned by Kai, by Lee, and by everyone involved, and this is a genius move. And as things start to spiral down, we also predicted what I'm going to announce earlier about bodybuilding.com and their involvement in this, which is going to be, in my opinion, this is all hypothesis. This is all what I think is happening. So if I turn out wrong at the end, like I have before, I'll just say I'm sorry I was wrong. It was my best guess, but all signs are leading to me being right. I'm usually right, but I do get it wrong sometimes. So anyway, Lee Thompson is the gentleman. I've known him. I've met him. I've competed in shows that he has been chairman in Texas over, like the Heart of Texas, a show I won back in like 2006, 2007. And I've never had a personal issue with Lee, but I will say, if you're talking about dirty politics in the NPC and you're listing out promoters who are dirty, Lee's going to be on that list 90% of the time. I have never had anything happen to me that Lee has caused. I have no run-ins with Lee. I have nothing personal, nothing concrete. But I will say, when I talk to people in Texas, they don't have many nice things to say about Lee Thompson not playing politics. So number one is this really going to be run any different than the NPC IFBB, or is this simply a money grab at the market share they hold? Because NABA has had a tough time gaining any ground in the United States. Hopefully, if I win, maybe NABA does gain ground. And also, I'm not ruling out jumping over back to the NPC and going to get a new pro card. I'd have to renounce my pro card I have now. Based on my physique, I think I'd have a good chance, assuming that everything's judged fairly. We're going to assume that for this video, okay? So here's the deal. Number one is name what the fuck. First thing that happened is an email went out, so they announced this. It was started with a Kai quote. I'm going to get into the Kai connection here because I'm not going to definitively say that Kai is leaving the IFB NPC. I'm not going to say that he has had anything to do with this. He might just have a relationship with Lee, but I'm going to get into that in a little bit. First thing that happened is an email went out. I saw one from an unnamed company. Louis actually had it and showed it to me. I'm not sure if he's put on his channel yet. But essentially, the owner of the company emailed all of his athletes saying that they will immediately be removed from the company if they share or post or even say anything about NSpire Physique Championships. So that's number one. They saw the writing on the wall. NPC immediately squashed it. Moving forward, events started, all these rumors started coming out. Kai not doing the Olympia looked like Kai would be the first one signing on, which I'm not ruling out him doing, but I'm not going to accuse him of being a part of this yet. It's not an accusation. It would be truth. So we go to the event, we go to the Olympia, and there's an event at City Gym. I get texts from like 5 or 6 people saying that Lee Thompson is there with Kai. So that's fishy. That's number two, is that he's at an event at City Athletic Club and he's with the guy from the NPC Global. What a stupid name. Why would you do that? It's like me calling my fucking post-workout Celtec. Asking to be sued by big people. So anyway, moving forward, then bodybuilding.com. Here's a funny thing. They didn't even go to the Olympia. They had no presence there because Amazon, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I heard that Weider asked for some astronomical amount to have the live feed on their channel on bodybuilding.com. I have no idea. All I know is that Amazon.com dominated the Olympia. By the way, MTS Nutrition is available on Amazon.com. So if you put a gun to my head and ask me who I'd want to win in a war, it'd definitely be Amazon over bodybuilding.com. So I'm going to say there is a little bias and prejudice because I don't do business with bodybuilding.com. So anyway, bodybuilding.com, just because I'm not, that's another video. So anyway, bodybuilding.com, you know, they're the first people to back it. I'm seeing Ryan DeLuca liking all this shit on Facebook. And things are just popping in my head, man. They're popping, you know, like the hamsters, they're usually the wheel's spinning, but the hamster's dead. Right now, the hamster just had a Viagra. That motherfucker's running, right? So, long story short, Bodybuilding.com then announces they will have their first Pro-Am in Texas, and it will be next year and presented, title sponsor, Bodybuilding.com. Now, going back to Lee Thompson, I don't know how much money he has, but I'm guessing it's a huge venture to set up an organization before you have any athletes or anything of that nature. It needed to be bankrolled. What other place to bankroll it than a place that sees you as a number, where QVC is the owner, and they just want to do a power grab, and they have all the money in the world. So what other person who's disenfranchised, because Amazon.com pimp slapped him down at the Olympia, who's disenfranchised with the NPC, who wants to get back at them, and Lee presents this opportunity. Now, I'm going to say this will be going on for months and months and months. You can't just shit out a new organization. This is an organized organization. Lee is a very smart individual. This is contrived. This is planned. Oh, that whole story he said in his video, oh, we rushed it because that. No, you didn't. You've been planning this all along. Don't play us for stupid, all right, bro? I'm wearing a shirt with gold foil. That means I know what I'm talking about. And it says mental on it. Okay, anyway, so Amazon just completely dominated the Olympia. The title sponsors, they had the awkward lady who had no business in the industry giving out trophies on stage. She was pretty, she was great. It's just, you could tell, she's like, what the hell am I doing on this stage? You had a mainstream company come in, Amazon Sport Nutrition, completely buy out Bodybuilding.com's title sponsorship. To me, it was brilliant because I wanted to see that. I had my little booth about this big. Sometimes it's good to see Goliath knock Goliath out, and David's just sitting there like, rock on. You know? So anyway, what's going to happen? Well, they're starting a pro division. They're trying to go up against the IFBB NPC. As you see with NABA, there's only a few names in it, you know? You got a couple guys in Australia. You got Lee Priest, and you have me. And I've yet to even compete as a pro until November 7th. And frankly, you know what? It is what it is. It's my organization. I'm proud of it now. But I mean, in the US, it's not like competing at IFBB. I know that. Internationally, there's great competition. In the US, hell, I might get my ass kicked. But at the end of the day, it's not being an IFBB pro. I get that. That's the upper echelon of all accomplishments. I have a pro card. It's not an IFBB pro card. Nonetheless, I'm happy with it. I'm very proud of what I've done. However, what's going to happen? We already know history repeats itself. And as you're looking at wars, you're looking at things, you're looking at trends, you can always go to history and you look at great things, like you look at the Romans, you look at the Greeks, you look at all the great dynasties, and they end. Okay? But you can see a pattern in how they end. They get too powerful, they get corrupt, they get taken over, blah, blah, blah. We've already had this happen once by a group much more powerful and influential with more media than even QVC or Bodybuilding. You're a number. We had the WBF, run by the one Vince McMahon, with WWF, not E, back then it was WWF, was at its all-time high in popularity with Hulk Hogan and others like Macho Man Randy Savage. Everybody was a Hulkamaniac. Vince McMahon started the WBF. Many, many, many great pros, Gary Stridham and others, moved over to the WBF. NPC IFBB blocked him. The magazines blocked him. Long story short, it failed. Every bodybuilder who went over the WBF was completely blacklisted and either not able to compete or was punished for what they did. And that's a great business. I'm not going to say it's a business move. What the IFBB's already done by telling companies tell their athletes not to do this. Bodybuilding.com has a lot of IFBB NPC athletes on their roster. First thing that the NPC is going to do, or I think they should do as a business, I would do it because I'm a businessman. And sometimes when push comes to shove, you shoot somebody. You know what? If you're with bodybuilding.com, you're no longer an IFBB pro. That's what I would do. And you know what? We're not. No. They're trying to raise a coup against us. It's called war, dude. It's business. And they say bodybuilding should be about the best body. Unfortunately, finances are involved. If it was up to me, yeah, it would be about the best body. Unfortunately, I'm just a low totem pole, second-rate NABA pro from the suburbs of Chicago who got a pro card because he just competed long enough and I get shredded and I almost die. I don't have the greatest structure. I have a lot of weak points. I'm a nobody. And I also, you know what? I've done well in business, but it's not on the inside, man. I'm not working the NPC IFBB. I'm working on the supplement side, working on the other sides. I own businesses outside of this. You know, I'm a businessman, so I could speak on business, but there is some political shit that goes down. So, you know, they're going to tell the athletes no. If an athlete, an IFBB pro, you think anybody in the top 20 in the Olympia is going to defect, other than maybe Kai, which I'm not even sure of right now? I don't think so. I wouldn't. If I'm top 20 IFBB, so who do you get? Second-rate, shitty-ass pros jumping over? So you're watching like, you know, you watch like a junior high bodybuilding championship where you go watch friggin', you know, the Pro Bowl with the NPC IFBB. You're looking at Dennis Wolf and Phil Heath on one stage versus just some white dude out of Indiana who no one's heard of, you know, who is a coach at a high school. I mean, what are we looking at here? Are we going to have regional competitors as pros? I mean, it's going to be a huge discrepancy in talent. So what they're going to do is they're going to blacklist them. And I don't think this will get off the ground. I think it will be like the WBFF. We have some good pros. They might have some differentiation. At the end of the day, I don't see it being a viable competitor in NPC IFBB. One, because of Lee's reputation. And two, because NPC and IFBB are just too strong. They do have good marketing and promotion behind bodybuilding.com. I will give them that. Now, I will say this. As the chief marketing officer of TigerFitness.com and as the CEO of MTS Nutrition, and as a bodybuilder, with everything that's surrounding this, all the cloudiness, all this, all that, as of this moment, we are backing the NPC IFBB. Because this is too shady, there's too many, and they're supposed to announce something on November 8th of how this is going to be outlined. But the way this began and who it was started by is something that I can't hang my hat on. I'm trying to find out more information, but at the end of the day, when it comes to everything with our relationships with Ronnie, with our relationships with Phil, with our relationships with many other bodybuilders, honestly, and also the fact that it's our main competitor who is bankrolling this, I think, we're actually going to back the NPC IFBB. Now, before you call me somebody's bitch, I encourage you to look up the word NPC and Lobliner in the search function right up above you. I have been the most critical sumbitch of the NPC, but not once have I brought Mannion's name as the instigator. Jim Mannion, at the end of the day, is the CEO of the IFBB. Jim Mannion is a good man. I like Jim Mannion. What happens is you have so many different states. You have so many different organizations, so many different divisions, so many different shows that you're going to have a fair share of bad apples. And I've seen it where Jim's gotten rid of bad apples, and there's still some out there. But you can't judge an entire organization by a group of promoters. And I know he doesn't want me mentioning his name, but I'm going to do it. Mike Valentino in North Carolina runs a damn fair show. Jesse Dale in Indiana runs the fairest, most fun, amazing show I've ever been to. Okay? Kevin DeHaven, North Carolina, the best shows you could possibly attend. Out of all divisions, I've been to these shows. Valentino, I've competed in Valentino's shows. I won the Gold's Classic. Look at Kevin DeHaven. I've been to his shows. I sponsor his shows. Okay? You go to those shows and you realize there are good NPC shows. And I'd say probably 90% of them are good. There's just that 10% bad apples. And I'm going to reach out my hand right now, and I'm going to make sure this video gets shown to Jim Mannion and all the people that I've probably insulted in the past. Just being critical because I love the sport so much that I want the best for it. And I'm going to reach out my hand, and I'd like to do what I can do to promote the good side of the NPC and also to help clean up the bad promoters. I will donate my time for free. I will listen to the consumers. We will take into people's consideration, but only if Jim Manion says that's okay. I want bodybuilding to work. I want bodybuilding to grow. Whether it's through the one I've been critical of classic physique. I still think it's a little weird. But you know what? I'm not the boss. I've made some calls that have worked in my company that my employees look at me like, Mark, you're stupid. Hell, machine greens. My partner was like, dude, that ain't gonna sell. Nobody buys greens. It's our third best-selling product behind Machine Whey and Vasky. Third bestseller. So what I implore you to do, keep following this, but know that this was not a spur-of-the-moment thing. This has been conspired upon, and this has been orchestrated, and bodybuilding.com has been pulling the strings of everybody's puppetry. I think that's what's happening. Again, a lot of this is speculation. A lot of it is speculation, but based on everything, I have my notes here, I really think that I'm at least 70% correct. Follow this channel, follow content.tigerfitness.com. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter. We're going to keep this story updated. And again, Jim Manion, I have your email. I'm going to shoot you one. Look at it, reply to it. And hell, if I need to renounce my NABA card to help grow bodybuilding, go back, get my ass kicked in the NPC like a crappy bodybuilder I am, I'll do it. Just whatever it takes to help grow the sport. Okay, I love NABA. They've been nothing but great to me. But at the end of the day, the NPC is the biggest thing we got. I don't see this as the right organization to provide good. What I do see is that if you're a natural athlete, there are natural alternatives like the OCB and the ANBF. But as for the NPC, let's be real here. It's the game. It's the biggest game in town. And right now, we're throwing our hat in the ring with the NPC because I see fixing the problems of the NPC as a more viable alternative than creating a whole nother problem. I'm Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com! Because conspiring on all of us, trying to trick us and trying to take something over this head with this epic fade, that's not a game.